We head from Joburg to Ponta, went in search of dolphins, found some mud to play in, eventually found some dolphins, camped in someone's backyard. Let's go diving! Had some incredible diving with Goes to a Zoo. Even getting the anchor down. Before heading further north to Ponta for a super relaxing couple of days camping with the Boone family. In this episode, we head back to Ponta to stock up on some fresh supplies and food and water before making our way up to the Maputo Special Reserve. Once there, we go in search of elephants, we find new camping spots and wild camping spots, and we just enjoy this incredible, practically untouched stretch of coastline. So we are at the fresh food market in Ponta de Ouro. Normally tourists don't really come here, I guess, but it's the best place to get fresh food and it's the best prices. £5 each. And the tomatoes?
5 tomatoes is 10 rand.
5 tomatoes is 10 rand?
Yeah.
So the stuff at these markets might not look as pretty as we're used to seeing in our grocery stores, but it's amazing quality and it's straight out of the ground. So it's the best stuff you can get in Africa a lot of the time. Just watch it afterwards and it's perfect. So Ellen has just hooked us up with vegetables for the whole week for 440 Medicash, which is 110 rand. It's about $8 for a big bag of fresh veggies. So they probably charge a little bit more to us than they do to the locals, but it's still a real sweet deal. Obrigado, Ellen. Thank you so much. How amazing is this fresh produce? The markets can be a bit intimidating from the outside, but it's worth delving into. This bread is absolutely delicious. It's so good. We prefer not to top up our drinking water like this, but rather be safe than sorry when heading to a really remote area. Also, these plastic bottles were snapped up to be reused by the ladies in the market. So we're topping up on diesel as well, just because we're going into a more remote part of Mozambique. A bit of a tip, they're notorious in Mozambique for not resetting the pumps before you fill up. It's never actually happened to me here, it's happened to me in South Africa, but where there's smoke there's normally fire, and the rumor is always that you got to double check it. So just make sure the pump is on 0 before they fill you up. One last quick stop at Lucas Butchery and Grocery Store in Ponta de Ouro. It's more expensive than the local markets, but there are some high quality items here that you won't get outside of major cities in Mozambique, and the meat is delicious and fresh. So we are all done in Ponta de Ouro, restocking on everything. It's always more expensive than I expect when I restock, but we filled up all the diesel tanks. We've got water and diesel on the roof now because we're going to a relatively isolated part of Mozambique, so it's there for just in case. I try and keep the weight off the roof at other times just because it changes the dynamics of the vehicle. I'm just repumping the tires quickly because we do have a tar section. Then we'll be heading up the tar road, which is a new tar road towards Maputo, and then we turn off and we'll get back onto sand, so we'll re-deflate the tires, which is a bit of a hack, but it's worth it. The ride is so much better when you've got the tires at the correct pressure, and it's also so much better for the sand. You have a lot more traction because the tread of the tire actually extends. A lot of people think it gets wider. It doesn't get wider, it actually just extends. So you have more contact with the sand, more grip, harder to get stuck. I want to quickly jump into that. It's often misunderstood. Decreasing your tire pressure will make your track a tiny bit wider, but it will exponentially lengthen the contact area, giving you much more grip. But yeah, busy topping up the tires, and then we will get on the road towards the Maputo Special Reserve, which is really exciting. Here comes my dad.
Shall I get you a proper compressor?
Yeah, my compressor's useless. He's got an amazing one. He's just showing off now. He saw that I was on camera and he's going to show off. Are you showing off your fancy equipment again, man?
Yeah, of course.
Eventually we get back on the road north. Contrary to what I thought, the route to the MSR is back inland to the main road and then north towards Maputo, not on the coastal roads that go north of Ponta and There's a little bit of confusion about exactly which route we're meant to be taking to Maputo Special Reserve, but we are going to go with the one that we have on Tracks for Africa. It tends to be the most reliable. Never be 100% sure, but it tends to be pretty reliable, so we're going to try that and see how it goes. Tracks for Africa wasn't accurate. At the moment I'm just kind of trusting my gut, but I think that this road is so new and this whole area is pretty newly developed, so it's quite hard. Okay, so we're actually entering the reserve now. Again, Tracks for Africa is telling us to turn, and there's no road there. And there's a fence line road. Pretty sure that's not the official road to the campsite, so we're just going to keep on going and hoping that there's some signage that points us out. I know the campsite is also brand new. The old campsite got redeveloped as a lodge, so this is a brand new campsite. Apparently it's really nice. Quite excited to see what it's like. Despite the navigatory concerns, we started seeing game as we entered the park. These zebras, unfortunately, wouldn't give me the opportunity to pun. Apparently the elephants in this reserve are more aggressive than the elephants that we're used to in Kruger, but hopefully this doesn't happen. I had to stop to get a photo. It's just a pretty cool road sign. I'm glad I just ignored the GPS because we're trying to take us on a couple of bush tracks. There seems to be a fairly new major entrance that obviously is just not on the GPSs yet, but hopefully after we've done this route we can update the Tracks for Africa and they can add it to their maps, because I think you might get pretty lost if you try and go the other way. But yeah, it looks like we're on a major entrance road now. Let's see what the reserve is like. I'm pretty excited. We're at the main gate to the Maputo Special Reserve. We've already seen wildebeest and zebra and giraffes and impala. Hopefully on the way to the camp we see some elephants, which would be really cool. Quite excited to get into the Mozambican bush. Brian from Peace Parks was really nice to point out some highlights for us. He also let us know that there's some new wild camping sites that we could check out that have just opened. Having applied for permission ahead of time, we were really excited to be allowed to fly the drone. Following strict procedures and being always respectful and mindful of the animals and their welfare, we're able to get some incredible shots from the air, which is really exciting. Take off. Don't underestimate the four-wheel drive only status of these roads. The sand is thick and there are some spots that must be treacherous in the hot dry months. Luckily the roads are really well signposted, so finding camp and finding your way around is not difficult at all. Oh my goodness, I was about to record to say how beautiful it is, and then look how it just opened up in front of us to this gorgeous lake.
There's crocodiles here.
That wasn't actually planned at all. Bianca saw a sign saying crocodiles, so she's going to investigate. Yeah, so Maputo Special Reserve is incredibly beautiful. There's not massive game densities so far, but it's kind of to be expected. I think when this reserve has a bit more time to be established, it's going to be an absolute paradise. It already is pretty damn close. Very, very cool. First impressions are extremely good, let's say. You pass through a wonderful variety of terrains, from floodplains and savannas over coastal forest-covered dunes as you make your way towards Mbene on the coast. After a fairly long but beautiful drive through the reserve, you get to Mbene campsite, a newly built camp to the north of the old site at Milibangalala. It takes a bit of maneuvering to get the rigs positioned nicely amongst the trees, but that's definitely not a bad thing. After what turned out to be a long day, we settled in around the fire for an early night, happy to be in a beautiful campsite and excited to explore tomorrow. I just want to quickly run over the route into the MSR from the south to avoid any confusion. As of June 2021, the southern gate to the park is not open, so to avoid people getting lost and wasting a lot of time like we would have if we had followed our GPS, you need to take the new tar road north to Maputo. From that road, the Futi gate into the reserve is clearly marked and easy to get into. Sorry for going on about that, but I just know it's going to cost people a lot of time. So we've had an awesome chilled morning around camp. You can see Bee's busy watching some shows up there. I was doing some work earlier, trying to get some charge onto the batteries with the solar panels. I'm going to make a chicken flatty, Portuguese style chicken flatty for lunch, which is really exciting. It should be delicious. It's just a super chilled day around camp. It feels like you're on holiday when you don't actually have to do things continuously. We will do something later though. We're probably going to go snorkeling or go for a game drive. Yeah, it's been a great day. This campsite's incredible. It's really it's glamping. If it's not really camping, I'll show you the ablutions. Look at this. You can see here's the whole wash up area, bathrooms, like nice and new and shiny everything. So yeah, it really is great. And if you guys are in the south of Mozambique and you go to Ponta or Ponta Malangana or anywhere there, it's only about an hour up the main road to get to the reserve, and then it's about a 2-hour drive once you're in the reserve, but it's worth it. It's really beautiful here. You should check it out. We're going to the beach. It's up the mountain. That's all. Worryingly, we couldn't get my drone to work, so we decided to go for a quick run instead. That's impossible. Why do we do that? Look at that view though. I wanted to fly the drone to show you the coast a little bit better, but the connection between the drone and the controller seems to have broken. So I'm going to disassemble it when we get back to camp and see if I can figure it out. I really hope I can, because I got special permission to fly the drone in the reserve, which people don't normally get, and it's so beautiful. It would really suck if I can't get that aerial angle. How beautiful is that? Mozambique's untouched coastline, guys. Really is somewhere you should check out if you haven't already. We're closer to Johannesburg now than Durban is, and yet so few South Africans come here, and it's so incredible, and they need our support now more than ever because of COVID. Peak mountain in horrible condition.
Good little yoga session on the beach. Now it's shower time and then dinner. Our little home. Really nice campsite.
Lazy days finished off with good food and good company around a fire in the spectacular part of the world. Yummy. I have to pinch myself sometimes to believe this life that we are getting to live. I really hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Next week we get thoroughly lost looking for elephants, go wild camping with the boons, and then unfortunately wish them bon voyage.